And good morning back to you again on this Thursday. We have Rob Patton, who's going to be talking to us. He is over Military Affairs Council, and we are excited about him. Weather's going to be warm today. It was like pretty warm yesterday. It's going to be like really warm today. I wouldn't secure a thought that that's going to continue because weather could change up before Easter, which would be the first Sunday in April. But anyway, back with you again, WIDU 1600 AM, and also 99.7. We appreciate you being here. And also we have Jamie McLaughlin. She was in with us a couple weeks ago. We were talking politics, and that's another story. And we'll be doing some more of that after the half hour. Matter of fact, Jamie, you can stick around. You got time. You can talk about some of that too. We have been George Brees and also the senior editor for the Federal Observer, Myron Pitts. But anyway, Colonel Patton, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Are you related to the General Patton?
We are not. I always tell people it depends. How's the conversation going to go?
I'm really a fan of General Patton. They just we could discuss that at a different time.
Sure.
But you know what? WW2 would have been very different without that guy.
100%.
I mean, he really. I mean, we may have not come out of that the way we wanted to. The Germans feared him more than any other general.
That's a true statement.
That's, you got to just understand the history of that. But
That's
anyway.
right. That's right.
But he was in, he was not a general, but he was a colonel. So, welcome to you.
Thank you, and thank you for having us this morning.
Excellent. And Jamie, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, let's talk about what you guys want to talk about.
You got it. So we represent the Military Affairs Council as part of the Greater Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce. MAC stands for Military Affairs Council. It is a subset of the chamber, and really the primary mission, goal, reason the MAC exists is to connect the community with the installation and the installation with the community. Kind of as we were talking relationships, experiences, we are together, and a lot of people think, well, it's a whole separate place, but no, the community is the installation and vice versa. Most of the folks that live or that work on the installation are a part of the community, whether they live here, they come and retire, kids go to school here. So that's one of our main charges, is getting better relationships and ties between the local community and the installation.
Okay, great. Because this has a very strong legacy, this community here, all of my life. I remember going all the way back. This was actually a training base.
That's right. At
one time. My older brother, who went to Vietnam, he was at Cu Chi in '68, had his basic training at Fort Bragg. So I remember those days.
Yeah.
And then there was times beyond what I know about. So the legacy and the history of the military in this community really is global.
That's exactly right. Well, I mean, to that point, when you think about Fayetteville, there's 85 native languages spoken in our school system. We are a global community. That's a little bit of a side note, but since you brought it up, we really are one of, if not the most diverse communities in North Carolina, based on a lot of it has to do with the military and folks, going all over the world, as you and I were discussing, the places we've been. So, we are a microcosm of the greater America, but we think the stronger ties we have, the better we'll be as a community.
So, Jamie, what about all this as it flows into economic development and all of those things? Tie all of those things in, connect the dots for us.
Sure. Well, I mean, one of the reasons that, Rob's exactly right. We're here to support our military community, and you see a lot of those seats change, and we have to reintroduce our community all the time.
Yeah.
So, it's one thing that the business community reaches out and says, we're here for you. What can we do? Yeah. And, we did that last year with the furloughs. We did Operation Patriot Pantry and filled the Armed Services YMCA pantry up, and we created a pickleball tournament to support soldiers' scholarships at FTCC. So, there's a lot of purpose in the past. And the Military Affairs Council is almost 70 years old. So in the past, we've done things like, the biggest baby shower in town and different things like that. We're here to support our military friends and represent the business community.
All right, great.
Yeah. And there, so there's a lot of mystique about, you mentioned economic development. So my day job is with the Fayetteville Cumberland Economic Development Corporation. And there's a lot of mystique about doing business with the installation. So whether you cut grass, you do construction, you do whatever, that's one of the other charges we have too, is getting installation and community closer ties so that those folks that want to do business with the installation and folks that are outside the community that want to come in here to do, whether you're a defense contractor, you do other things, to set up operations here and business here to bring jobs and investment to the area. That's another part of what we want to do, is get those, let's break the mystique of what it is doing business with the installation and getting those contracts. Because I've heard a lot of people say, well, how come this company from Charleston got the contract? Well, maybe we didn't apply properly. So let's get those, who do you need to call to answer those questions on the installation so that you can do business here?
Mm-hmm.
True. And I imagine now, in times past, a level of security differs from people going on and off the installation since 9/11.
That's right.
And we talk about that like that was like yesterday, but how many years ago they've been now?
Well, that's we're going on, what, 25 now?
That's what I'm saying. But it feels like, for me, it was like almost like yesterday.
You've seen a difference in the last just couple of days getting on post right now.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, I'm sure there's heightened
It is,
levels
yeah.
of security based upon what's going on in the Middle East now.
That's right. And you know what? That is the reality of the world we live in, that when things happen, security has to get tightened.
Correct.
We have to protect assets and people. But even in those times, knowing who to call if you have a problem or question or things like that, the operations and day-to-day work doesn't stop on the installation when there are overseas operations or what have you. So it may be a little bit slower, or maybe a little bit tighter, but knowing who to call when you're trying to get help or assistance, or you're trying to do something, that's another thing that we're trying to do too.
Right. Excellent. Well, so you guys have meetings in the community. Let's talk about that.
So we have an advisory panel that meets monthly, and I've got a list of a few things here for your listeners to know
Sure.
about. What we've done is the last couple of years we've really built back. COVID really kind of crushed us. Our numbers dropped significantly. We were down to about 30 members about 4 years ago. We're now back up to 150. So we have a goal. We've set a goal of 200 memberships by the end of this year. But some of the things we do to, because a lot of people say, well, why join the MAC? The first initiative that we have this year, we're calling it the CRISP, which is a community, helps put my glasses on, Community Region Installation Support Program. And what that is getting back to the relationships, getting key stakeholders, leaders in the community to get around tables, one, just to get to know who are you. So the time to call someone and get to know them is not when there's a problem or there's an issue. Let's all get to know each other and have better relationships and understand who I need to talk to, who does what. We talked about an example of Hurricane Florence. Knowing who to call or who's on the other line when something happens is not the time to be meeting. You need to have those relationships and that foundation in advance. So we're going to do those quarterly. We're looking to do the first one in June, and we'll put more out on that. We're working together on what that's going to look like. As part of the 250th anniversary of the founding of our nation, we're having a ball on the 8th of May. That'll be at Highland Country Club. Our sponsor for that is Blue Star Families, and really it's just a time to get together with folks from the installation, local community, dress up, have a good time, and just get together again, getting those relationships built. Jamie mentioned the pickleball tournament as well as Operation Patriot Pantry. We're going to do both those events simultaneously this year. So the neat thing with our food drive, which we call Operation Patriot Pantry, is it goes directly to support families on the installation. A lot of people don't even know that there's a food pantry on the installation. A lot of people don't know that a lot of soldiers and their families have need for food. So during the furlough last year, when all the WIC cuts happened and all that type stuff, there was a big need for food. So we stopped. We were going to have a social, but we said, hey, this is probably not the time to have a social when people are hurting. So we changed that out with the food drive. 2 men in a truck gave us a truck and some guys. We loaded it up, filled them back up. talking to the folks on post, there is always a need in the June timeframe. So we'll have a pickleball tournament on a Saturday with the food drive, same time, so folks can come out, have a great time playing pickleball, and then let's help support the folks on post that need food. And Texas Roadhouse is graciously donating appetizer tickets, coupons. So if you bring food, you're going to get an appetizer ticket for a free appetizer at Texas Roadhouse in town. One of the other things that we do every year, 11 November, on post, they have the Sunset Liberty March, where you meet at sunset by, you and I've been here forever, so where the old Hardee's used to be on Bragg Boulevard, you meet
Right.
there, you walk up, it's only about a mile walk, but there's commemorative plaques that talk about units and operations and things that have happened with folks on the installation. Go to the flag and you come back and there's a nice little certificate you get. So we always do that on Veterans Day. And then one of the other things which is really, I think your listeners will appreciate, is we're going to start doing quarterly breakfasts with guest speakers. So our first one is going to be on the 27th of March, and we are very honored and blessed to be able to have the Deputy Commanding General of the Western Hemisphere Command be our first inaugural guest speaker at that breakfast. He's going to come in, Lieutenant General Smith is going to come in and talk about the difference between the old FORSCOM and the new Western Hemisphere Command. I've already heard a little brief on it before, and it is amazing how it is changing. It's going from a resourcing headquarters to an operational headquarters. Big difference. That may not mean a lot to folks, but that is a big difference. They are now commanding and are responsible for troops across the board. So those are some of the things that we're looking at doing this year, going to do this year. Really got that big push for the membership, and we think too that to tackle the mission that we have with the community installation relationships, the more members we have, the better we're going to be at doing that, because we get strength in numbers, and the end game is community installation are strong.
Excellent. Well, that's exciting to hear, and I also salute you all for all of the good work that you do. There's so many things going on in the community that
There are.
sometimes people simply, they just don't know about them.
Well, that's you're gracious enough to have us in. That's getting the word out, because you're exactly right. There's so many different organizations and people doing this and people doing that, and you go, why didn't I know about that? Well, we've got to communicate these things. Let's talk about what we're doing. Let's get it out to a wider audience so that we can get more support and be more successful. There's no benefit for us to do a food drive, right? We're doing that for somebody else.
Right.
We're not here doing these things for glory and all these other things. We're out to benefit other people with what we do.
Right. Excellent. Well, look, Jamie.
He said it all. I tell you what, he's a great speaker, and he has really laid out all of the great work and the momentum that the Military Affairs Council is. I mean, he was telling you that we meet monthly. That monthly meeting, people are sitting around the table saying, what can we do this year? What are we, they're planning the line of attack, so to speak. I mean, it's really inspiring to see how much momentum is happening right now at the Military Affairs Council.
It's really cool too, because there'll be an idea, and there'll be a hand that goes up immediately. I'll do that for you. I got it. We'll do this. Hey, we volunteered to do this. We'll sponsor that. We'll provide this. When you get that momentum going, you're in a sweet spot. When people are, without even being asked, just say, hey, we want to do this. I'll do it for you. What do you need me to do? That is, we're in a great spot. You can always get better, but that's why we're really pushing for the membership and just interest in the MAC writ large on what we do, why we exist, and how other people can help.
Okay. Well, you call him Rob.
100%.
I call him Colonel Patton. So, could you give us information how folk that might want to know more or contact you or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie, you want to take that
Sure,
one?
it's militaryaffairscouncil.com. You can always reach us at the Greater Fayetteville Chamber, and we're at faybiz.com. Oh, one of our Military Affairs Council members just walked in. And in fact, we were talking about the Sunset Liberty March that we dedicated to Sergeant George Brees over there. last year, but Military Council, militaryaffairscouncil.com or fabiz.com. And you can always reach us at the office, 910-483-8133.
All right, cool. Well, look, with hats off to you guys for all that you do. Certainly, you're welcome to come back. If you have
Please.
something specific that you're doing,
You got it.
We're on, our doors on Welcome Hinges. Come back and let's talk about that specific thing so we can help promote that. And we look forward to you. Nice meeting you, Colonel.
Same.
And
Pleasure.
we need to talk some more about General Patton.
Anytime.
That's it.
Anytime.
Love it.
Because I'm a huge fan of General Patton. I just, people just got to understand that. I mean, I studied these wars,
Right.
Civil War,
Right.
and particularly WW2.
Right.
And what was going on in Europe, General Patton, look, he had to be there, man.
He had to be there, and people don't understand that was a different time.
It was.
That was a different time, and you're facing a world war.
Yeah.
Where there is no alternative but to victory. You got to do things a little differently. Maybe some of the stuff he did is a little controversial, but you've got to do things a little
without
differently.
That was controversial.
You know?
But the Battle of the Budge, if he hadn't been there,
We would have lost.
rescue them on
Yeah.
that day, and I know I'm probably going beyond what some people know or even want to know.
Right,
But
right.
still, I'm just saying that's just incredible there. So
That's right.
Right. But anyway, though, we're getting ready to go to a break, but George is in. George, you want to make a comment about before we go further?
Well, now that Jamie's here, we can talk politics. I know she was on with you a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I know that Myron's supposed to join us. But
Yeah,
I
he
hope,
is,
I
but
hope,
right.
I hope she, not only has she had a MAC,
I mean,
she's the
I
head
invited
of
her
government
in.
relations for the chamber. I mean,
Right.
this is a working woman who delivers for our community time and time again. I got to tell you.
Understood. I invited her, but I don't know what her schedule is like. So,
Okay.
but I did invite her. But look, Colonel Patton,
Yes, sir.
thanks so much.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to talking to you again.
Yes, sir.
With your specific events.
Yes, sir.
And you're a cool guy, man.
I appreciate that.
I like meeting you.
Let me
Okay.
ask you, did Rob say that he was the great-great-grandson of General Patton?
This guy.
That's what we were talking about. That's what we were talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I missed that.
We good. But look, we're going to a break, and we'll be back. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.
New escalations in the war with Iran. Israel unleashed a barrage of bombs overnight. The average price for a gallon of regular gas is up 24 cents since the U.S. started striking Iran. In North Carolina, the average price for a regular gallon of gasoline is $2.99. The matchup is one of the most competitive U.S. Senate races in the 2026 midterms, now set between Democrat Roy Cooper and Republican Michael Whatley. They were out on the campaign trail yesterday. Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page holds a razor-thin lead over North Carolina Senate President Pro Tem Bill Berger in Tuesday's Republican primary for Senate District 26. And margin is so narrow it will likely trigger an automatic recount under state law. There was a large fire at a condo unit in Manny on Wednesday. Nobody was injured. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. Registration has started for the Swim League through Fayetteville Parks and Rec. Sign up online or at your local recreation center. It is $40 for residents and $80 for non-residents. The season runs May to July. For more information, call 910-433-1395. All participants must be able to swim the length of the pool. This is for kids ages 7 to 17. A guitar jam is set for the Orange Street Music Lab on Saturday, March 7th at 11 a.m. This beginner-friendly guitar workshop will teach how to strum, form chords, and play beginner songs with step-by-step guidance. Pre-registration is encouraged but not required. Mayor Colvin presented a proclamation to Mr. James Scriven in recognition of Transit Driver Appreciation Day. Our fast transit drivers are an integral part of the transportation system across Fayetteville. Their hard work is keeping riders safe, driving their routes in a timely manner, and greeting everyone with a smile, and it does not go unnoticed. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
We started our warm-up yesterday, and this warm weather is going to stick around through next week. It'll feel more like May than March. Partly to mostly sunny and breezy today, with temperatures going up even more, upper 70s to low 80s for the highs. Mild tonight with mid-50s to about 60, and then partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Warmer, our highs in the low to mid-80s. In fact, we could rival or break old record highs. It'll be warm into the weekend with rain Sunday. I'm meteorologist Mike Mays in the NCN Weather Center.
You have always put others before yourself. Put your country above all else. Given everything you can, every time. Now it's time to forge a new path. At Fayetteville State University, we believe your service is our debt. So we're offering free military family tuition. Yes, absolutely free. And with new programs like cybersecurity, anything really can happen. Fayetteville State University. Are you in?
If you can no longer work because of illness or injury, you should be collecting Social Security disability insurance benefits. Call Brent Adams now for a free consultation. Don't give up just because you've been turned down. Brent Adams has helped thousands collect full disability benefits even after they've been turned down. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
Hi, I'm Cherie Sample Hughes, Chair for Women in Government. February is Rare Liver Disease Month. If you're feeling unusually tired, struggling with brain fog, or dealing with persistent itching or body pain, it may be due to liver disease. Fortunately, liver disease is diagnosed with the use of simple blood tests and can help be managed with the right care plan. Talk with your doctor about getting screened and the best steps for treatment. With the right care and support, there's a path forward. Find more at womeningovernment.org.
If you are on Medicare, scammers may target you to steal your identity. Remember, Medicare will never call you asking for personal details. The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medicare Patrol program is here to protect you from fraud and provides you with knowledge to stay safe. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Our high-pressure ridge is becoming established. That means it's going to remain warm here for the next several days. Later this afternoon, warmer than what we had yesterday with upper 70s to low 80s. It'll be partly to mostly sunny. Tonight, mild, mid-50s to about 60 for the lows. Tomorrow is partly cloudy. It's still warm with highs in the lower to mid-80s. In fact, across the state during the day for Friday, we could break old record highs. By Sunday, a chance for showers and storms. I'm Mike Mays in the NCN Weather Center.
And we're back now for the second half hour here. Matter of fact, we're going to go till about 9:30. Going to take a break at the top of the hour. Keep going to do a little update on what's happening politically here. Was interesting on Election Day, and then the dust is cleared a little bit, and now we have the analysts in to bring us up to date as to everything that has happened. So we have the guru, who's been around for a long time, and that's George Brees. I think he handled.
I covered George Washington.
Okay, I wasn't going to go back that far. I was thinking Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
I was thinking Abraham Lincoln.
Not quite Washington.
When the Republican Party started, I think 1854. But anyway, though, and then we have Jamie McLaughlin. She's with the Chamber, and last but not least, and that is the senior editor at the Federal Observer. We have Myron Pitts.
Good to be here.
So thank you all for coming. And,
Glad to be here with you.
And, let's pan all this stuff out, and certainly there's some questions. I'll start with you, Myron. Were there any surprises to you?
I guess any result would have been something of a surprise because I didn't really know how these races were going to go. I had said my editor and I were talking, the executive editor, myself were talking, and I told her there's a lot of dissatisfaction out there. The question is, who do people blame? Do they, blame the incumbents? And do they blame the local people? Do they blame the state people? So based on the results, our incumbents did reasonably well around here. Some of them, I think, had some tougher races than they thought. Of course, one exception was Sheriff Morgan, who did lose his race. And I believe that was the first, he was appointed. So that was the first race he actually ran for. He stood before voters. So not a traditional incumbent in the sense that he won, he got the vote of the people and then was seeking that vote again. So it's a little bit different. But of course, the other races, we saw Commissioner Glenn Adams in a very tight race. I think it was less than 1/10 of a point separated him.
10 votes.
Yeah, and him and Sheila Cuffey. And so she would be a new face on the board because I believe District 1, there's not a candidate on the ballot on the Republican side for November.
Correct.
So the winners of District 1, which is Glenn Adams and Miss Cuffey, will be serving. It was a tough race to predict. Now, if you look statewide, and I mentioned this in my column that's at FayObserver.com today, there was a lot more trouble for incumbents statewide, both parties, both Democratic and Republican parties. I believe the Assembly, which does really good political coverage, said it was a train wreck in terms of the establishments for both Republicans and Democrats. So there is a lot of dissatisfaction statewide that was expressed in incumbents getting beat, not as much here in Cumberland County.
Jamie?
There were some surprises, I think,
Sure.
but statewide, you really did expect people to perform higher or, looking at, I know a lot of people were looking at, was it Rockingham County?
Yes, Rockingham County, right.
I think people were looking at that one thinking it was going to go a lot higher, lower, and it ended up being pretty darn even.
Yeah, that's right. That was.
So, I'm not sure how they're going to call that one.
Yeah, that's the Senator Phil Berger was against who's one of the most powerful. Some people say the most powerful politician in North Carolina politics right now, and he is trailing, quote unquote, by 2 votes to the Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page. That one hasn't been called, and nor should it be, because there's still provisional ballots to come in. So
the votes hadn't come in from the cemeteries out there yet.
So we will see how that goes, and that was a surprise, as you said.
It was, and when you're looking at, he was calling for that moratorium, and he had a lot of different things that were coming through that were pretty controversial. I mean, I know in Cumberland County we're looking at that tax reevaluation process.
Yep.
So and reducing those years. So for Berger to come back and say, hey, we want to do a moratorium on that was something, the Chamber's looking at.
Yeah. What was interesting about that race is, there's several interesting things, but Mr. Page, Sheriff Page, he declared himself the winner of that race. Which I guess politically, I guess that's what you do, but that one's so close. It's clearly a toss-up.
I wouldn't have done
but-
that yet. Not with 100
it was
ballots out there. At least 100.
At least 100.
At least 100 ballots.
Straight down the middle.
Yeah.
And remember that there are some votes out there.
That's right.
That when somebody went, they didn't have the proper ID. They still let them vote.
Right.
And
Right.
and then they have to in the next 4 days they'll be
They'll determine
recycling
whether those
that.
are valid
And
votes.
maybe you can help me with this. But the point is, I believe that Senate race is going to be going on for some time. You remember the state Supreme Court race? I don't remember the candidate's name. I'm sure they're on the tip of your tongue over there. But but that sort of scenario
was
that
Griffin
we could
and
be
Riggs, right,
dealing
right.
with this months from now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of put the General Assembly in kind of a tight there.
Yeah.
If you're a Republican senator and you think your leader is going to be gone and you want to be the leader, you got to
You're
start working the
maneuvering
room.
now,
But
right.
you got to be very careful because your leader may still be the leader.
That's right. That's right.
So there's some real.
I'm sure there's a flurry of conversations up there. That was the Jefferson Griffin, Allison Riggs. Is Allison Riggs race?
It was.
Right, Supreme Court.
That took
And
months.
That took a long time.
Same thing
right.
could happen here.
Yeah, and
And
so
of course, Tom McGinnis, who's our state senator, along with Val Applewhite, he's in line to move in a leadership role.
Yeah. And he won his primary pretty comfortably there.
Right, and will win the general election hands down. I don't know if you're familiar with who his opponent is, but I would have to say that one's over.
He's got certainly a strong advantage there. I was looking at some of the judge races. I saw the district judge. I saw Sherry Miller won that open seat. And I saw Sherry Seiler Mack, an incumbent. She won pretty handily. I actually thought that race was going to be closer.
You did? When she ended up with 67%.
It was pretty comfortable victory for her. And I was also thinking that one of my, I mentioned in the column, you look at the at-large race, and there was some question whether or not it would have to go to runoff because only one candidate got over 30%, Charles Evans, but it will not. We got that,
The formula.
Yeah, right. So all results are unofficial, but, it looks like it will be Charles Evans went forward with that and Veronica Jones.
Sure, right.
And that's going to be every cycle. I try to say which is going to be the thriller and the villain. That at-large race is going to really be something else.
Yeah, of course, Greg West.
Because you've got a candidate running on the Republican ticket who's been elected 6 times countywide in a nonpartisan race. Now, the question is, how does that work in a partisan race?
Yeah.
But I think you can see Greg West will be some stiff posture.
Right.
Will be an excellent candidate. Now, Charles Evans can start measuring the drapes in his office.
Yeah.
Charles is going to get elected. I mean, it was a slam dunk for him. I mean, when you get 5,000 more votes than the person that places second, that tells, we all know Charles. We love Charles. And Charles loves public service.
Yeah.
And what's happened here is the public has shown they love Charles too.
Charles is, I certainly, he has appeal to, I believe, groups and demographics that might not seem obvious at first. Just broad appeal. I was talking to someone, she's was older, happened to be Caucasian, downtown business employee.
Right.
And we were talking about voting, and she's like, she voted for Charles because she just felt like things need to be shaken up, and he would shake it up.
Yeah.
And I've heard that from another person, completely different demographic, African Americans, say the same thing. And so he has that reputation. But what stuck out to me from both of those statements is both people I talked to felt that things need to be shaken up on the Board of Commissioners. Now, we didn't get specifically as to what they were talking about. I will say this: the person who worked downtown was very upset over the Crown Event Center decision. Right. The other person, I'm not sure what their beef was.
Civic Center sitting right here with us today.
Yeah. So, so there are people still talking about that, Jamie, as you know, and of course the commissioners have gone a different direction on that. So simply adding new seats and new faces to it won't necessarily change what's happened, but that's still an issue, and I will wonder how that will play out in the general election.
If I may give my down and dirty here
Sure,
and get this off the thing here. 218,724 voters in Cumberland County on Election Day. 15,678 were early voters. 31,000 according to the Fayetteville Observer, and according to the Board of Elections, 231,288 voted, which gave us a primary percentage of 14.3, which is 2% lower than what we've got in 2022 and even lower than 2024. So, you know, we didn't reach that plateau of increasing. But interestingly, in early voting, 80% of the ballots that were requested were Democrat.
Yeah.
That's huge. 4 out of 5 early
Now that's Cumberland County?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
80%.
Now,
and of those, 76% were African American.
Right.
So what that tells you is, you know, there was a real push, as there should be,
That's right.
To get voter participation. So, and if I may just say here that let's just take a moment on the follow up on Myron and Jamie's comments about the at large. Let's thank Marshall Faircloth for his years of service. He served, he left, he came back. He didn't do as well in this one as he has in the past. I really didn't see him working like I've seen him work in the past, but that's neither here nor there. But let's just thank him. I think you also have to say that Mario did exceptionally well, and Tony did. Tony Stewart. Veronica did really well. But who blew the doors off was Charles Evans. No question about it. So, and that race in November is going to be the thriller in development. No question about that.
It already was a very closely watched. I mean, really, the Commissioner District 1 as well. There was a lot of experience that ran there. Of course, you know, Larry Wright, who had been on the city council.
Good man.
He ran in that race. And then you had a newcomer, and Mr. Murray. So it's good to see that much activity, to see that many people interested in serving, because you know it's not easy, even just being a relative of someone who served. Yes. Even being a relative of someone who served, former Mayor Marshall Pitts. Even just having that view of it, I could just see how much, as you said, Jamie, work is involved.
How many meetings they go to.
Right. And of course, I know on the Fayetteville side, they've added really essentially another meeting at the first of the month as a public forum, and there's some things they need to tweak on that, but it's another meeting. So I applaud anyone, including Mr. Faircloth, and of course, you know, Dr. Jeanette Council did not run again.
What a wonderful lady, one of the best of all time.
Two lengthy careers in public service, and I applaud them both on that. So what do we think in terms of, so George, you said general election would be the thriller in Manila. What do we think the issues are going to be that they're going to be talking about here coming up in November?
Well,
the commissioners.
I believe that in the county commissioners race at large, there is no race in the District 1. That one's over with.
That's right.
But I think they're going to say is the county commissioners moving in the right direction. I don't see this as an earth-shattering change like we did 2 years ago. I mean, 2 years ago, you elected two new commissioners who got with the other candidate, now the chairman, Kurt Devier, and changed the whole dynamic. I don't see this, that kind of a sea change taking place. Good people, but the real question is what will be the issue?
That's right.
And I think this budget cycle is going to maybe make some of those decisions. Do they fund this? Do they fund that? What did they do with the $5 million request from the schools?
Yeah.
What did they do about E.E. Smith and finally
yeah.
make a decision and do something? What do they do?
It's
going
a
to be an
full plate.
issue. So there's a basket full,
Yeah.
and you can reach in there and pull out any of them. But I think this budget cycle, Myron, and you follow it.
Sure.
Jamie follows it as chairman of the Government Affairs Committee for the Chamber. Troy follows everything. The point is, that's what's going to decide what the real issue. I don't think the real issues have been decided. And 85% of the voters haven't zeroed in on that yet. They just got over this.
Yeah. Those who paid attention to,
right,
to
15%
right.
pay attention.
Now, Troy, and actually anyone weigh in, Jamie, weigh in on this. So on Election Central, we had talked about the Democratic turnout, and of course, we're a blue-leaning county, so you'd expect we would have a more active primary. But I am registered Democrat, so I didn't think about, if you're a Republican voter in this county, you didn't have a lot to vote on.
That was
I think there were three races.
Right. See, our ballots were kind of empty.
Yeah.
So I can see why there was not the enthusiasm to come.
Yeah.
There was that appellate court race.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Senate race, of
right
course.
now, and of course for me, there was also the McGinnis race and the Wheatley race.
Yeah.
And then the U.S. Senate race, but that was it.
Right.
And so,
right.
but I will say though, over the weekend, I did see the numbers. When I saw that early voting, who had voted among the Democrats,
right?
I said, Morgan and Marshall are in trouble.
Yeah.
I just no way I was going to think that many African Americans were going to vote.
Yeah.
And he was going to favor them.
Yeah.
And predictably, what I thought would happen happened.
Yeah. It turned out not to be close.
I mean, it's not close at all, and they lost big. But I believe though that as we run downhill, because it's going to be coattails from the U.S. Senate race. I mean, without a doubt, this may be the most expensive U.S. Senate race in the country.
It might be.
Definitely.
Right. Again, because going all the way back to, I remember when it was Helms and Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
In '84, I think it was. That was most expensive, and we continually get.
That was before your time, Jamie. That was a Titanic matchup.
We're about the same age, Byron.
So, but we continually get the most expensive Senate races in the country.
I think we were tracking.
And people are watching North Carolina for
right,
that.
that's
That's right.
right.
Swing state.
So,
I mean, literally.
And everybody's like, well, the governor's never lost statewide. Well,
I would throw
some
out
things
any
may
past
change.
performance. Right. Yeah.
Number one, this is the first time ever in the history of there being in North Carolina that there are more registered Republicans than there are registered Democrats.
That's right.
Now, you don't know what the NFL is going to do.
The key is, what are the percentages of those who will vote?
Right, so I'm saying. So,
I mean, that's the key. The percentage of Democrats who vote is higher than the percentage of Republicans who vote, not voter registration.
Sure, right. I got
the
Certainly in this
800-pound
primary, that was the
gorilla
case.
in this
I mean, statewide.
is the unaffiliated voter.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's where the race is
Which
going
is
to be
the
won or
largest
lost.
group. Right.
who sometimes tend to lean right. But what I think is, though, the thing about Cooper is that, and I think some people never realize this, 15% of his voters also voted for Trump. When he was president.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
15% of the people that voted for Trump also voted for Cooper.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be interesting, So come on, spend some money on WIDU. Our advertisers are, because
it's going to be. I would have said before the events of this week that we would definitely have the most expensive Senate race. But this week on Tuesday, this James Tallarico guy won in Texas. Won the primary, defeated Jasmine Crockett in actually a very tough race.
6.5 points.
So now that actually does put Texas in play. You still always got to say it's going to lean for the rest. And the GOP, they have another primary between Cornyn and Paxton.
Did you see where the president made that offer?
Very interesting.
Very one
The
of you
kind of
two.
offer only Trump could make.
One of you two.
Yeah.
Are going to be I'm going to endorse you. One of you's got to drop out. That is unheard of.
Unheard of,
But-
especially
but-
if the person does drop out.
But I would say,
Yeah,
though, look,
so-
whether you're a fan of Jasmine Crockett or not,
Yeah.
you got to notice that the DNC did her in. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah. They want to tell
The
Rico.
DNC
Yeah.
did her in. They didn't want her to
Yeah.
be the nominee.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
when it comes to fairness, and I'm not talking about what we do in the fall when they
Yeah.
show the pigs at,
Yeah.
that simply was not fair.
Well, it's just party stuff, though,
Yeah,
because
but-
the Republicans put they're supporting Cornyn in the race.
Yeah.
I mean that happens. They want the person who they think is going to have the best shot. I've even said, you mentioned Trump's offer, and to me, if you look at Ken Paxton, he's more Trumpy. More of a Trump-like candidate.
Oh, he's a MAGA god.
Right.
I mean,
But the scuttlebutt is that Trump is actually going to endorse Cornyn in that race. And in my opinion, that's only because they think Cornyn has the best shot against Tallarico.
But I'm coming back to but DNC, they're playing up this black woman thing. Come on now, look now. I've been paying attention.
Right.
They're playing up this black woman thing and everything, and now you take this very highly visible hate Trump black woman and you throw her under the bus. I mean, I understand. Tell you something.
Yeah.
They're gonna remember that
Now,
on
what do you
election
mean
day.
throwing her
I'm
under
telling
the
you, look,
bus?
I mean,
Like, what
those
did the DNC
Yeah, well, who's
do?
throwing her under the bus?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to know. I know there's been a lot of social media chatter that's very anti-Jasmine Crockett, and
Yeah.
I would even say anti-black women, but I hadn't heard that came from the DNC. But I have little doubt
if you
that
look at-
DNC wants Tallarico. They are happy with that outcome.
I don't know.
Right,
I tend to disagree.
But there's
anyway.
a lot of bitterness. That was a tough race. There's a lot of bitterness, and I've seen, months will heal a lot of wounds, especially months as Democrats deal with
it was
with Trump.
It was
So,
interesting
but
that Kamala
I think
Harris
most people will come home.
endorsed her, but
Yeah.
the DNC was working behind the scenes for the other guy. I mean,
That's
it
right.
just
But that's my point. Come on.
right.
That's my point. Well, look, we got to go to a break. Come back. Let's chat more about this inside of the morning show. George Breeze, James McLaughlin, Mary Pitts. We'll be back for more.
Your station for inspiration and information. 1600 AM, 99.7 FM, WIDU1600.com. We are WIDU Fayetteville. We do radio. Follow us on Facebook at WIDU 1600 AM.
NCN News, I'm Mike Riley. New escalations in the war with Iran. Israel unleashed a barrage of bombs overnight. CBS senior correspondent Charlie Daggett.
Lawmakers tell CBS News that the Secretary and Joint Chiefs of Staff briefed congressional members behind closed doors that Iranian drones presented a major challenge and air defenses might not be enough to intercept them all.
The average price for a gallon of regular gas is up 24 cents since the U.S. started striking Iran. Gas Buddy head of petroleum analysis, Patrick DeHaan.
I do think the pace of increases is starting to slow. Oil prices have cooled off slightly. They're not seeing the significant escalations that we were earlier this week.
The matchup is one of the most competitive U.S. Senate races in the 2026 midterms and is now set between Democrat Roy Cooper and Republican Michael Wadley. Meredith College professor David McClennan was asked about Wadley's strategy.
I think he's going to follow a pretty standard playbook. You've heard him already on the campaign trail talk about Cooper being soft on crime. He'll reference the Charlotte stabbing death on the train and how that was Cooper's fault.
Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page holds a razor-thin lead over North Carolina Senate President Pro Tem Phil Berger in Tuesday's Republican primary for Senate District 26, a margin so narrow it will trigger an automatic recount under state law. Catawba College professor Michael Bitzer tells WNCN.
Military votes are still coming in. They may come in actually through March 12th. That's federal law. Then you have the issue of perhaps some mail-in ballots needing to be counted. All of those provisional ballots that are outstanding potentially in that district.
There was a large fire at a condo unit in Manteo on Wednesday. Charles McKinney is the manager of a nearby marina and tells WAVY.
Pretty much the whole thing engulfed. So I just ran around trying to get everybody accounted for that I knew that lived there.
You're listening to NCN News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. Registration has started for the Swim League through Fayetteville Parks and Rec. Sign up online or at your local recreation center. It is $40 for residents and $80 for non-residents. The season runs May to July. For more information, call 910-433-1395. All participants must be able to swim the length of the pool. This is for kids ages 7 to 17. A guitar jam is set for the Orange Street Music Lab on Saturday, March 7th at 11 a.m. This beginner-friendly guitar workshop will teach how to strum, form chords, and play beginner songs with step-by-step guidance. Pre-registration is encouraged but not required. Mayor Colvin presented a proclamation to Mr. James Scriven in recognition of Transit Driver Appreciation Day. Our fast transit drivers are an integral part of the transportation system across Fayetteville. Their hard work is keeping riders safe, driving their routes in a timely manner, and greeting everyone with a smile, and it does not go unnoticed. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
We started our warm-up yesterday, and this warm weather is going to stick around through next week. It'll feel more like May than March. Partly to mostly sunny and breezy today, with temperatures going up even more, upper 70s to low 80s for the highs. Mild tonight with mid-50s to about 60, and then partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Warmer, our highs in the low to mid-80s. In fact, we could rival or break old record highs. It'll be warm into the weekend with rain Sunday. I'm meteorologist Mike Mays in the NCN Weather Center.
Back to the morning show. We've been discussing this politics here and had a very robust discussion during the break about James Bond.
Jamie really knocked it out. She's all over us, okay?
We did.
I tell you what, though, I hope that all of Cumberland County is listening right now because you guys are the most entertaining bunch in the county right now.
Anyway, back to, we're having, discussions about all of this.
We're talking about the
we
Senate.
did bleed
Right.
into Texas. But now, look, let's stay in Texas for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Al Green.
Defeated.
Having problems.
The cane man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's not Al Green that's saying, the singer.
And I want to say, Al Green, who is a Democratic congressman,
right?
Long time, very prominent. Wasn't he the one that held up the sign, the State of the Union?
Right. 3 times he's been shown out the door.
Right.
But you see, for me now, I'm watching all this, so people are not necessarily being that way and being an anti-Trump hater doesn't necessarily get you over the finish line now. Obviously, you would think he'd be the hero because he did that. Held up the sign, black people aren't monkeys or whatever it was.
Right.
But he is in a runoff.
Yeah.
After doing that.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a majority-minority district.
Right, and
a
it may
black
not
district.
be related to that. I mean, 'cause I have no idea what kind of a campaign his opponent's running. A lot of this, I think, is just people are looking at the current situation, whether they're Republican or Democrat, and deciding, let's do something else because this isn't working. Another prominent person who flat out lost was Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah.
Very prominent guy.
Patch guy.
Yeah. He has the eye patch because he's a veteran, lost his eye in combat. But it's always on TV, always outspoken. I think he maybe took a couple votes against Trump, maybe on some things. But either way, he got beaten his District
Bad.
2. Yeah, pretty
Well,
soundly.
yeah.
And so I think part of it's just people are just looking for a change.
Well, you know what? If I may just say, Al Green.
Yeah.
One of my favorite singers, but
Yeah.
not one of my favorite congressmen. But the point is that
It's a different person too. Let's clarify.
his opponent slogan was, "It's time for a change."
Yep, there you
You
go.
understand?
Yeah.
And
There you go. Yeah.
They didn't hold up the signs. It's a time for a change, and Al Green fed right into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And attacked, and
Yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
attacked,
And
yeah.
it just went south on him.
That's his mode.
If I may,
Yeah.
before we get out of Texas.
Okay.
Spend a lot of time
Myron
in
asked me a
Texas.
question, and I can tell you my girlfriend's first name in the movie we went to see at the Haymount Theater, but don't ask me what I had for dinner last night.
Okay.
So I had a moment to kind of think through this. You said the issues in the county, and I mean, let's just think about it. From water to education to mental health to homeless shelter, but that all goes through that budget. So those issues are going to come out after this budget cycle. So
Yeah.
this one's a very important one.
The one thing I would say, adding on to what you were saying about the county, just covering the city and the county and other aspects, a lot of institutions and governments have the county in its plans in some way, like Cumberland County.
Yeah.
Like I heard, like the city was talking about, I have a story up today about transit, regional transit, which is a goal. And then, the county somehow going to play a role in that. What role it would be is unclear. And then you look at things like water, anything related to social services. Whenever the city talks about homelessness, you can't leave the county out of that situation.
No.
Because that really is their bailiwick.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'm making a case for sympathy for the county commissioners, because even though they don't get as much coverage, and I can say it as a journalist that we don't cover them as much, and I would say in general they don't get as much coverage, they really intersect everything we're talking about because of what they're in charge of.
Sure.
Particularly that, the delivery of services, social services in particular. So they have a lot of things on their plate. I saw they had some success, or they're moving forward with the case against Chemours over this PFAS contamination. That was very good news. And so that will help. Every bit helps. But they have a full plate coming up. So people should really research these candidates. The at-large race, District 1's pretty much decided, but the at-large race, we all have a vote if you live in Cumberland County. Definitely research these candidates, and because there's just some important decisions. And schools, of course, is another one, as you mentioned there, George.
I believe the school system, this whole schools discussion is going to loom bigger than people think.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's probably going to be the biggest thing. I mean, if we're going to climb out of our Tier 1 status and a lot of other things, got to get these schools fixed.
It's going to be through education.
I went to the meeting where there was, they had a meeting, it was 27 underperforming schools. And, they didn't have anything to do with brick and mortar. But still, we got to fix that. You got a guy coming off of the school board that's running for the Board of Commissioners that spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
And there's some controversy with which schools should be closed, If you look at the numbers, I think that they got to do what they have to do.
Right.
But emotionally, people don't want to go let go of some things.
Yeah.
But if these schools are at half capacity, like Ann Chestnut is one that's looming big. A lot of discussions about that.
Yeah.
But the board didn't make the decision. They hired some consultants. They've been here for years. They studied everything.
Yeah.
Ann Chestnut, $6.7 million to get it up to snuff.
Yeah.
And folks said, well, what about Lewis Chapel across the street? Well, Lewis Chapel needs $1.1 million.
Yeah.
How can you be a good steward of people's tax money and say, we're going to put this money here?
Yeah.
When not only that, the capacity of Ann Chestnut, something like 850 students,
yeah.
but they only have like 400 there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of moving parts.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why we need strong leadership.
Good points.
And that's why we need a strong board focused on these issues
Right.
that
That's what I'm
we're
saying.
talking. I mean, you got to have that leadership and that focus.
Yeah.
And I go back to it. The word I want you to remember: the budget is going to be something that's going to really set up what the issues are.
That's right. And I think
it's
that-
not going to be whether the Crown Event Center is in Stedman,
Exactly.
Yeah.
or Massey Hill, or out west. It's where is this board moving on these issues?
Right. And in terms of schools, these are very difficult decisions. I totally agree with everything you said, Troy. And if you look at those particular schools, Lewis Chapel and Ann Chestnut, I mean, there are two middle schools facing each other. They're right across the street. So
Are they the same school type? I mean, are they like 1 through 3 or 4 through what? I mean,
I think they're both. Aren't they both 6 through 8?
I forget exactly.
I don't know.
But still, it's wasn't one of those year-round or something like that.
Yeah,
right? That's the
Lewis
difference.
Chestnut,
But
right.
they're trying to move away from that.
Yeah, and
concept
that
anyway.
has caused a lot of parents some concern. And believe me, as a parent of kids in school, any major change like that changes your schedule
That's
dramatically. And so, and plus, some parents and some educators too believe in the year-round model. So I can totally understand that. There's a little bit of data that shows there's some advantage to that year-round school. So that's tough. I do know that just speaking to the residents of this city and this county, because school, of course, is countywide, county and city. Make your voice heard with your concerns, whether it's a school you're trying to save, whether it's a year-round program. Money is a factor. I mean, that's the bottom line. It is a factor. But I saw in real time the Massey Hill classical community and the Beaver Dam community.
Right.
Both those communities came out and they made the case. Well, look, these are high-performing schools. This is what you want.
Yeah.
And it looks like they may have saved those schools from the that's not going to work for every school.
And that's a key factor too. When you're looking at a high performing school, that's a lot different than, I mean, of course you guys know that I'm a Spring Lake girl.
Yeah.
You know, and we had 5 schools in Spring Lake. They closed the kindergarten school and made that FTCC. They closed Lillian Black. And right now the Spring Lake community is very outraged about them closing Manchester Elementary.
So how many we have left out there?
Well, we will have, if everything goes through with that plan, we won't have a single school in actually the town of Spring Lake because W.T. Brown is not actually in the town limits.
Yeah.
And W.T. Brown is one that used to be year-round. It used to be one that people drove from Grays Creek to go to. It was a school of choice, and they took away the school of choice. They took away is it like a magnet school kind of feel to it, and they took away the year-round, and now they have not been able to keep that school half full
because there's only 200
for
students
a decade.
right? I was heard there was 200 students at the one you want to keep open. Just 2.
At W.T. Brown.
Right, it must be, and you can move that 200 over
And they have,
to W.T. Brown.
People don't realize too, they are busing children.
Manchester, right.
Yeah, they're busing children not just from Spring Lake and Fort Bragg, but all the way up towards Cross Creek Mall. all go and feed into W.T. Brown, and they
Wow.
still can't keep the school full.
I didn't know that.
So,
I didn't know that either.
and you know, Lillian Black. Now, I was outraged with Lillian Black because that was a historic building in Spring Lake,
Yeah.
over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Manchester Elementary. I mean, there's a lot of sentimentality. I mean, my aunts used to teach it at Manchester Elementary. But as we talked about on your show a couple of weeks ago, there's a good way to memorialize some of that sentimentality, other than keeping a school open that doesn't make financial sense.
Right. And I think there's a good model for that. You see what's happened with the long closes of schools, the Orange Street School. But people have kind of, it carries back from the days of segregation.
Right.
But a lot of people still had a very strong, and still have a very strong attachment to that school, and that's been converted. It took some years, it took some time and some attention. The city is partnered with that group, but that's been converted to basically a community center and a historical site. So just because something can't be a school anymore, a fully, it's enrolling students, it can still be upheld and treasured as a part of a community's history. And I certainly hope that happens with Lillian.
And I believe that's what I've heard. That's what they want to. They don't want these schools to lose their legacy. Like LGB Wilkins, J.W. Kuhn, and there's a number of them. But our last point with the schools is that there's one school that was rated unsatisfactory. Only one out of that whole model, Ann Chestnut.
Wow.
I mean, that's, and again, that's somebody from outside the community that should be objective, and that's what's before us. And I sympathize because particularly, there would, at a time during segregation, there was one city school, that was East Smith, and that was what he said, one school for students across the river, which was Armstrong, Eastover, and then there was a high school for African Americans on this side. And that's Ann Chestnut, which now the original Ann Chestnut, my understanding, was where Lewis Chapel Missionary Baptist Church is. And
right there at the
that
corner
school
there.
was built, the one that we're talking about now, I think 58. Fayetteville High, which is now Terry Sanford, and E. Smith were built the same year in 52. And out of this package that they're presenting, there would be two brand new schools up in Broadell. A new E. Smith and a new Ferguson Easley. So,
the E.E. Smith, it seems to me all signs point to they're going to have to build a new school someplace else, like not at that site. That's what it sounds like to me.
But that's what the fight has been. I'm saying,
I know.
but you see that, the program to build it there, they want to tear it down, and those students will go to Reed Ross. It'll take them 3.5, 4 years to do that.
Right.
While they're building it from ground up, and they'll build it higher. They build it up.
That's
right.
What some people want. Yeah.
Right. That's what they want. But I mean,
Our children deserve the best that we can offer them.
That's where I was going.
If the best that we can offer them is a brand new school that goes up and is in a different place, our children will be the better for it. What they don't deserve is to go to a school that has, leaks and not a lot of books in the library and not a lot of opportunities. So.
I would be surprised if either the school board or the county commissioners go with a plan of trying to renovate the old building. Is it because just according to what the consultant said, even if you do that, in 20 years, you're still going to have to build a new school. So you might as well go ahead and do that. The question is it going to be...
And it's
the plan to build it vertically is if they build it where it is
but
now.
she's right. Let's think about this. Look, the technology is different. Trying to put new technology in those old buildings, does that make sense?
No.
And so I'm driving past LGB Wilkins yesterday, and I'm thinking, okay, you got all these AC unit they're hanging out the windows when I'm driving past them.
Yeah.
There's no central air. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just saying is that why are we doing this to our kids?
Yeah.
You know, because of legacy.
And
you know what I'm saying?
people look at our community, and I mean, Myron and I both have young children. I mean, we're looking at where can our children go to school, and we're not going to move to a community where the schools aren't great. So,
Yeah, I mean,
we
we-
need to give our community the most opportunity, but also our children.
Yeah, the schools are so just inextricably tied into the community.
So
the health of the school system directly ties into the health of a community. And we are not alone. Me and my wife are not alone in picking our house based on this,
That's
where the
what
school
people do.
system is. Right. So,
So I believe that we've already discovered what should be
Sure.
the number one thing for this Board of Commissioners.
Sure.
That's my take.
Yeah.
And we hope that our county commissioners, those that go into office, are going to be looking at a big picture and how to get us to the next level.
Right.
Yeah,
So I
they
mean,
sure
but
do.
you know, but look, before we go, quick point. Cunningham and Charlotte only got 22%.
That's right.
And you know, for those of y'all that you see, I knew her husband.
Yeah.
Because her husband served back in the 80s and 90s.
Back before there was
Yeah,
dirt.
she
when
was.
you walked in it.
She is a Democrat.
Right.
She had overrode some of her
Right.
Josh Stein,
Right.
Governor Josh Stein's veto.
Three of them that overrode.
Three of them,
all
and
lost.
all of
That's what
them
I'm
lost. Now, my question,
They got
and
devered,
y'all would
is
know,
what I call it.
and y'all would know, did the governor actually endorse their opponents in those races, or he
He
didn't?
did against her.
Against her
He
specifically.
did, but
Okay.
I don't know if he did against the Musjid, what is
Right.
this guy's name?
Yeah.
But now, Willingham, who also from Bertie County, he played ball. But now you understand, I don't know if you've ever been up there before. I mean, Bertie is about as big as downtown.
I've never been
You know
there,
what I'm saying? There's no people there, but you know, he got them to move
Somebody must be.
the transportation thing up there. You know that, right?
I didn't know
for
that.
jobs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they move it because it's no longer downtown Raleigh, and
Yeah.
he brought that to that community.
Yeah.
But he lost.
Wow.
But you know, he had to negotiate with the people that was running the General Assembly.
Let me
to make it
ask you
happen.
this: How do y'all feel about this? Is a question for the whole panel about the governor getting involved in like local races like that. We've
Within
seen that
parties,
happen in this
within their own
community.
party.
Within their own party. That's what I'm speaking about.
Because he's a Mini Cooper. Not the
Well,
car.
it's the first thing I thought
Not-
about
not,
was
not the
Gov-
car, but that's what I
Governor
call. That's what I
Cooper
call
has, you
Governor
know-
Stein, a Mini
Yeah,
Cooper.
yeah.
That's what Cooper did,
Yeah.
and he's following that pattern.
Well, I mean, there's nothing illegal about it.
No,
I just
no.
want to clarify: it's perfectly legal, but is that best for voters?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I call it, you know, they get Debbie-aired because that's what
That's one of the
happens
most
in that
prominent
particular
cases
race.
here,
But
yeah.
the truth is, I think that'll come back to bite
bite
them one
'em, I
day.
think.
But all our governor wants, and you can't blame him, is to have the votes to override a veto.
That's right, that's
That's what
right.
they're looking at.
Yeah.
And Harrison Hickman and all that crowd that's advising him, that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, that's
The
exactly what they're looking
control.
at. Yeah.
But myself, I don't think that's cool.
But this is how I believe it works against
It
me.
hurts bipartisan.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think you divide the party. Now you got to try to bring them back together again when it's the general election. And you know
time.
what? It tends not to happen sometimes.
It might not happen in Bertie.
Right, because see, folks still mad at each other, and they like, well, you know, screw you, I'm gonna stay home.
Right.
That's
And you know, we talked earlier about Texas. That's a potential dynamic at work there.
That's
too. That was a very
That's
hard
why I was
fought
talking about Jasmine
campaign.
Crockett.
Yeah.
That's hey.
Now this is what I'm wondering. Let's say in this Texas situation, because like you, George, I've never heard of a president who's gonna. But Trump does a lot of unprecedented things. Whether you like those
Really?
things or not, we can all say he does a lot of unprecedented things. But so he's going to endorse one, and some people are like, well, he's a reality show host, so he's going to play this thing out. You know, former reality show host, endorse one, and then basically demand the other person get out.
Right.
That's another reason I
And
think.
kneecap him when he does it.
Right. Of
Over.
course, he's going to keep the pressure on.
Yeah.
That's another reason I think he's probably going to go with Cornyn because he's the incumbent, a long-time incumbent. I think it's a much messier situation if the president backs Paxton, the challenger, and then tells a long-time incumbent, you drop out of the race.
Right.
I just think that that's a much dicier proposition.
Paxton has more baggage than an airline.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
he
does.
He's got some real issues.
Yeah.
And I think Donald Trump is probably trying to figure out how he can fly Air Force One over Texas and leave the thing that comes out with the name out of the back of the plane. He'll come up with something.
The media would love that. I tell you.
Leave the president alone. He's the best at it now.
Leave the president
alone. The smoke out of the back of the plane.
Because even now, I'm wondering who he's going to choose, and then see that's how you know you're playing his game.
So may we just take a moment here and congratulate Troy McDuffie, Glenn Adams, Sheila Cuffey, Veronica, and our good friend Charles Evans, Sherry Siler-Mack, Sherry Miller, Francis Jackson, Diane Wheatley, Gene Ackles, and Tom McInnes, those people who were fortunate enough to win. And I might say to those of you listening and aren't listening that ran and were not successful, thank you for your participation. Tuesday was a snapshot in history. Tomorrow's another day. But thank you for your participation and congratulations to these folks.
Yeah, and folks shouldn't get discouraged that you put your hat in the ring. It didn't work out this time. If you believe you can contribute, and clearly you do, don't hesitate to run again. I know Sherry Miller, who won the judges race, she's run a couple times before, and this time it happened for her. And so the young fellow who I don't know how old, he looks young to me. He may not even be that young. George, he has a great resume from everything I can see. I know my older brother Marshall speaks extremely well of him, so I would hope he keeps public office in mind, and really several of the candidates. But I talked about the at-large race. For commissioners, I actually had a difficult time. Of course, I had to pick two. I mean, legally, you can only put two. And there was one particular candidate I wanted to get through, and I was gonna single shot for that candidate, just vote for that. But I reasoned to myself, I'm already having to trim my list down more than I want to, so I'm at least going to use the 2 votes that I have. So I did vote for 2 people in that race. But there were some really good candidates. District 1 had some good candidates.
Yeah.
By the time someone is running for office, they're going to forums, they're going door to door, they're putting out campaign signs about, I don't have the math on it, but in my opinion, just anecdotally, about 98% of the time, they're pretty solid people. And I'm always impressed at the work someone has done in the community before they run for office.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done so many things. So and there are a lot of folks out there. I would encourage more people to think about it. It's not easy. Sheila Cuffey, as you know, she called in to Election Central on Tuesday night, and she was saying as much as she knew a lot about politics, but when she became a candidate, she was like, it's a lot more than what you would think. So it is not easy, but it is, I guarantee folks, that there's probably little is satisfying if you're into politics and you want to change your community. So,
one of the rock stars
don't
of
get
Tuesday.
Discouraged. Yeah,
Sheila Cuffey was one of the rock stars of Tuesday.
Certainly.
When you come within 10 votes of somebody who's been a public servant, and led the ticket, and get within 10 votes of that person,
that's right.
It shows how well you're respected outside of the political bubble.
That's correct. And she mentioned on Election Central, and I quoted this part in my column today, people had asked her to run before for council and commissioners, and she said she was not going to do anything until Dr. Council decided not to run again. Mm-hmm. So it shows you how decisions can have domino effects. And that's what drove her to run this time.
Jamie?
Oh, I just hope that, people remember too that there's another election coming up this year, and to keep coming out and voting. one of those commissioner races is decided, but the other one is not. And we do need everybody to come out and speak their voice. And I think, just looking at the commissioners this last couple of years, you did have some new faces on there, but they are looking at things with those dollars and cents. And that's what we need as a community. We need vision moving forward, and we need an eye on the dollar. So
strong leadership.
Strong leadership
And a strong
is
board.
imperative.
That's what they need.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they have it, quite frankly, right now. They got
Sure,
a strong
sure.
board.
Well, I'm different from you, Myron. I'm a political assassin. I'm gonna shoot one.
Yeah, one shot.
I'm gonna single shot it.
Strategic. Well, y'all had numbers on how many people single shot.
6,000.
6,000 people. Strategic voters, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that one person going on the at-large board for the Board of Commissioners can make a major difference.
That's true.
And that's why
That's true.
I'm settled on. I'm not saying who, but I'm voting for.
We know
one person.
No, we know. I mean, we know. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to out you here in front of everybody, but we know. Okay.
Well, look, guys, I enjoyed you guys immensely, man. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Jamie, thank you for adding.
Thank you for letting me stay.
Jamie, thank you, George. Thanks for having me, Troy.
Thank you. Because in the midst of all this, thank you for all you all do in bringing knowledge to the table with people, with what they're doing and stuff like that. People need to hear different perspectives. You know what I mean? And we'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah.
I had to drive a friend about an hour yesterday, and we don't agree on anything politically hardly at all. But we had a discussion all the way up, but still, when he got out of his car, we were still friends.
That's right.
And that's what really, I think, needs to happen. We can just see things from a different prism and say, hey, look, I don't see it the way you see it. I'm going to vote the way I want to vote. If it doesn't turn out the way I want it to, then, hey, so be it. And I hope you feel the same way. I think that's what needs to happen in America and in our community. Someone on Facebook said, I found out that someone, they like this particular candidate, and I unfriended them. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me for us to go like that. Or either you wish somebody happy birthday, and how in the world can you wish them happy birthday? Do you know? You know what I mean? We get that crazy, and that's not, I'm sure that's not the way it's supposed to be.
No.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you all for being here, Jimmy, in particular, Myron.
Yeah.
Always, Troy, good to be here. And please thank Beth Hudson and your team for
always listens in
for bringing the news the way you do. Y'all do a good job.
And also, we're in with this.
No, that's right. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm
Duke
talking
Carolina, we're going to go ahead and hand Duke their first loss at home this year.
That's right.
That's a dream.
We'd love to get
again. And look, I don't care whether Wilson comes or not. We're going to win.
That's right.
Out of here, guys. Have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Jamie.